Greetings, kindred spirits, and welcome to all the new subscribers to my channel. Well, we're coming up against a very exciting and intense time, especially through the month of December. You know, there's a lot going on and a lot to be aware of as well. So I'm just going to get straight into it. The new moon begins in Scorpio in the true lifetime sky on the 26th of November at 15:05 in the GMT time zone, at 10:05 in the EDT time zone, and on the 27th of November at 2:05 in the AEDT time zone. Now the sun and moon will be conjunct at 3 degrees as the new moon begins, but both will be in the firing line of a yod, which is also known as the finger of fate. And this yod is created by Uranus, who is retrograding at 4 degrees in Aries, and the North Node, who is at 8 degrees in Gemini. And on top of that, we have a cluster of planets in Sagittarius that will be sitting on top of the grand aspect called the kite, which I've been talking about for the last month or so. You know, but the stellium of planets, the cluster, is actually known as the stellium, which again is another grand aspect. So we've got 3 grand aspects, and I think 3 is a very relevant number here, this new moon. And I'd also like to mention that at the bottom of the kite sits the North Node. So there has been so much that has come to light since the full moon 2 weeks ago. And actually from here onwards there will be much more that is revealed when it comes to morals, ethics, belief structures and the truth. The yod in this instance is creating a sudden shift in our way of thinking, or even in our way of researching. Actually, we would be wise not to jump on bandwagons as further questions or revealings come to light over the next 2 weeks, because I strongly feel that we are being prepared for something that could be quite mind-blowing or mind-boggling. You know, there will be new concepts, discoveries, and doors will open up to information that will involve our past, present and future. I mean, I know there's a lot of people talking about the collapsing of timelines. I just feel it's, you know, it's probably that, but I definitely feel there's a revealing going on here. But not just in the ethereal, but also in the 3D. So we've had some really good information regarding Voyager 2, which is a spacecraft we launched into our solar system in August 1977 alongside Voyager 1. I'm sure many of you know or have heard already, those of you that are into astronomy. But recently, I mean, Voyager 1 reached a boundary a while back, and I think they lost contact with it. So I'm not sure if they did regain contact there or not. I didn't actually continue to follow it, but Voyager 2 has recently reached the edge of our solar system and has come up against a firewall. So whether that firewall is radioactive or electric is a debate which is at present going on between the astrophysicists. And we can expect to hear a lot more about that over the coming year or so. Which is fantastic, because now we will really have a great opportunity to find out about the workings of our solar system. And this will eventually prove, in my opinion, to be a gigantic leap forward in the world of science. Personally, I am leaning more towards the electric universe theory, but I am still keeping an open mind. I mean, if it does turn out it's an electric universe, then I think it actually works in our favour from what I understand when it comes to generating free clean energy. So, let's see what evolves. So getting back to the Yod, the problem that Uranus retrograde in sextile to the North Node creates is one of extremities, especially since Uranus is in the fire sign of Aries and the North Node in the air sign of Gemini, that basically create situations or bring to light information that is normally way beyond our control initially. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, so again I feel we will get another taster of what to expect from this Saturn-Pluto conjunction taking place. I am going to give an update on that in my next podcast, since they will once again come within a 2-degree conjunction at the full moon on the 12th of December. And wow, from what I have seen so far, I feel that December is going to be the start of some major shifts in the world of religion, politics, and corporate organisations. But basically, all those that have been built on corrupt foundations. I did say earlier this year in February, when I did a live video with Catherine Kinney from Cosmic Numerology in, February, I'm sure it was. And I did say that the lead up to the Saturn-Pluto conjunction throughout this year would be giving us signs as to what was in the pipeline. And we did actually get a taster of that in April of this year, when Pluto and Saturn came within a 2-degree conjunction. But I will be going more into that in my next podcast. So, but just for those that are not sure what I'm talking about, Saturn and Pluto came in within a 2-degree conjunction on the 11th of April, I think it was. And on the 15th, we had 2 religious buildings burned down. One in Jerusalem and the other in Paris. And both at the exact same time. So, I have to wonder, was it just merely a coincidence? Or was it an act of God? Or was it sacrificial? Who knows? Could all come out though. So right now, which is the 24th of November that I'm recording this, Venus and Jupiter are in conjunction to the Plutonian Ixion at the galactic centre. Now both Jupiter and Ixion are at a 1-degree conjunction and Venus is at a 2-degree conjunction, but all of them are in Sagittarius. Now Ixion has been at the galactic centre for quite a while now. It's been over a year. So Jupiter coming in to join him alongside Venus, it's like there's some sort of confrontation going on. And with the cluster of planets I'm seeing in Sagittarius, it is definitely about one-upmanship. Or, trying to stick to old ways. But I just feel that Pluto is just bringing everything out into the open. And Venus is there to balance what is coming up. So Jupiter and Ixion are apparently similar in nature, but I beg to differ on that, depending on the story I'm listening to or reading, because there's a few different theories about their relationship. But apparently they are similar in nature when it comes to self-service. So at the galactic centre alongside Venus, all 3, and there's that number 3 again, are revealing some serious and unethical indulgences on a global level. The media has been covering a lot of injustices towards women for over a year now. And this year we have seen the celebrity industry really hit hard with child sexual abuse claims. And I did say earlier this year when the documentary about Michael Jackson came out, and alongside other indiscretions, that this was a cover-up, that there was something much bigger going on, and that it would come into reveal anyway, regardless of the distractions. And I'm wondering just how high this goes, when really I should be saying how low. So, but we shall see, because I feel there's a lot more to come out. But I think what we've got to realise as well is Scorpio can keep a secret, like I said in the beginning, Scorpio can keep a secret. So this is something I feel is going to escalate throughout the month of December. And I just feel it's very strange that we're holding an election here on the 12th of December, which is a full moon, and where Pluto and Saturn do come within a 2-degree conjunction. So since both Ixion and Jupiter like to have their own way, Venus is of dark and light. Her mission is to bring in a balance and harmony within our financial and emotional needs on a personal level. So on a global, she can represent money or trade and, the atmosphere of the collective. But she is also known as the equalizer between the dark and the light, the negative and the positive. And like I said before, the number 3 is very relevant here, since we are also in a 3 universal year. So we got 3 planets at the galactic centre. We've got our sun and moon at 3 degrees. But what I'm seeing here is a 3-3-3 energy. 3 is definitely a relevant number here for us to take into consideration. So Scorpio is known as the investigator, the one who penetrates his beady eyes right down to the roots to gain a greater understanding of cause and effect. So Pluto, being his ruling planet, does rule energy in general. He doesn't see the material world in a 3D way. He views all things as energy, and is a great manipulator of energy too. So I really do feel the next 2 weeks will prove very interesting, a very interesting time. Although Scorpio, like I said, can be secretive and hold on to information as a form of insurance to protect himself. But Jupiter, the truth seeker and forward mover, and Ixion, who is the rebellious one, alongside Venus, the bringer of balance through chaos, could be bringing to the surface a lot of long-held secrets, gifts, recognition, and justice towards the unethical and or immoral acts, especially since the goddess Pallas of clarity and justice is conjunct our new moon at 0 degrees in Ophiuchus. So again, this is definitely Phoenix energy at its ignition stage. For some of us, this is going to be a fantastic time of breaking free of any restrictions on our creative self-expression. For others, it could be an overwhelming or an unbelievable time. It really will depend on our way of thinking or our belief structure or environmental expectations. The one thing I would emphasize on here is that, again, it's so important that we watch what we are saying, but more to the point, what we are thinking this new moon. Because Venus at the galactic centre with 2 major planets, such as Jupiter and Ixion, will be bringing into manifestation those thoughts when she sits between Saturn and Pluto at the full moon on the 12th of December. When they actually, Saturn and Pluto come within their 2-degree conjunction. In the GMT time zone, the full moon will reach its peak at 5:12 early in the morning, and Saturn will move forward from 22 degrees to 23 degrees later that night at 2300 hours. And Venus will be at 24 degrees, Pluto at 25. So on the 15th of April, when the 2 religious buildings burned down, we actually had the South Node sandwiched in between Saturn and Pluto. But on the 12th of December, it will be Venus. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. So the number 3, let's get into the number 3 because I feel 3 is very relevant here. So 3 represents the trilogy of life, mind, body and spirit. And in the Hebrew Kabbalah, I'm not sure about the Pythagorean, I haven't had a chance to really look into that yet. But in the Hebrew Kabbalah, the number 3 is ruled by Jupiter. So this shows to me a vast expansion when it comes to our self-expression. So Venus's influence will be very strong throughout this new moon cycle, which means we must be careful in what we wish for, what feelings or thoughts we might have about our lives and situations in general. But, most importantly, I think this would be a very good time to put into practice deep breathing techniques, mantras, affirmations and prayers. But we must not be superficial in our conduct. We must be open to both our weaknesses and our strengths, because whatever comes up will reveal exactly where we are at on our path to enlightenment, and that's individually and globally and collectively. And we should never ever assume that we know it all or become too fixated on a desire or a goal. We must stay grounded and live from our heart space, and always consider the greater whole in all that we wish to acquire. But at the same time, justice must be had where justice is due. So sound therapies would be another good way to express or receive the divine vibration, and not just in the higher octaves of tone, but also in the lower. So for anyone creating music or lyrics in any vibration, will be creating quite an impact on their environment and even globally. So it's time to raise the stakes on behalf of the divine, not for individual gain only. Working as a collective in groups or even individually with the world and the universe in mind will be a powerful source of healing and will raise the vibration of higher awareness for many. But we must make sure that we keep our 2 feet on the ground at the same time. We must also be aware that Mercury is still in shadow until the 7th of December. So again, positive thinking and positive action without commitment to any agreements is still important at this time. So let's keep it real. Peace and much love.